Hey comic lovers, E-Money, the old man, and Thor the Dog of Thunder here, ready for another episode. Have you been a good boy today? Have you been a good boy? Yeah.
Well, I know how to make sure he's a good boy.
Up. All right. So, I have a couple stories from the world of entertainment and comic book news to share with you today. And we have our comic book reviews and previews. Then we're going to give you a little preview about what to expect from our pop-up comic book shop this spring, coming very soon, we hope. And I am going to do a little something special here with Thor at the end. So, pretty jam-packed show today. You ready, Thor? Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. He's ready.
Are you ready? You ready? Yeah. You.
All right, comic lovers. Only 2 more weeks until Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
What's that?
This is Back Issues. All right, comic lovers. So before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on your notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. You can share some exciting comic book or entertainment news that you found fascinating this week. Tell us what you think of the comic books we're reviewing, or give us some recommendations for comic books, and tell us how much you're looking forward to our upcoming sales.
Or you could tell us what a knucklehead you think Thor, the Dog of Thunder is.
Yeah. All right. So I have 3 exciting entertainment news stories for you today.
3?
Yeah.
Woo!
So first up, some casting news for a new DC HBO Max movie. It was confirmed by Deadline that the 2 leads for the new Wonder Twins movie have been cast.
Oh.
I know how excited you are, old man.
Why?
Old man's a big fan of the Wonder Twins, right?
God help us.
All right, so
Are we that desperate already? I can make you a list of 100 characters that you could do a show with.
I mean, did you ever think we'd be here 10 years ago?
No.
No. The Avengers movie had just come out. Now we're getting shows like Peacemaker, and we got a Wonder Twins movie and a Batgirl movie coming out, and Moon Knight, and Morbius just had his movie. So, come a long way, right?
Hey, I just remember back when I was a kid, you couldn't turn the TV on without there being a Western on.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was Westerns. Now, we've recently had, what was it,
1883, of which I'm going to get to that in just a second.
That's a good movie, or show. We had Hell on Wheels not too long ago, which was a great show. But overall, you have to really look for a Western.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're rare. Are superhero movies going to do the same thing? Are they going to burn out? If you don't put out good quality stuff, if you start putting out Wonder Twins junk, you're going down.
Well, we'll see if it's junk or not. All right, so back to the story. It was confirmed that KG Appa from Riverdale.
Which one's that?
Archie.
Oh, Archie himself.
Yep.
Okay.
And Isabel May from Paramount's 1883 and Young Sheldon.
Oh, the girl, the blonde girl from the show. Yeah, she's great.
Will play Zan and Jaina, superhero twins who actually made their debut in the animated TV series The Super Friends before moving on to comic books.
Well, I'm sorry that these 2 actors have decided to end their careers on this note.
So they're a lot like Harley Quinn in that regard, where they started out in a TV show and then moved on to comic books. They kind of did it in reverse.
Well, I hope they survive.
Well, very little is known about the movie beyond its comedic tone. Zan is a watery shapeshifter, while Jaina can transform into an animal. And they hail from the planet Exor. They were orphaned during a plague and gained a pet in Dleek the space monkey.
Oh my God.
Not sure if he's going to be confirmed for the movie, but you got to figure.
See, normally you'd think the space monkey is going to be the comic relief.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
So they traveled to Earth to warn the Justice League about the villainous Grax, and they blended into life on Earth by posing as Swedish exchange students.
But we don't know if that's what they're going to do.
No, not yet. Very few details have been released other than the casting announcement. All right, so I guess we're looking forward to that?
No.
No?
Not at all.
But you're still going to watch it out of curiosity, right?
if you could find me a way to watch Peacemaker, since we don't have HBO Max, yes, even though I know it's ridiculous, it's totally comedic waste of time, but yeah, I would watch it. So, sure.
Yep. So, I guess that's what we need to do soon. We need to get HBO Max because we're missing out on stuff. There's so many streaming services out there.
Okay, somebody shoot us a monthly check and we'll get HBO Max and review their show.
Yep. All right, so moving on to the next thing. In our next story, actor and comic book superfan Nic Cage is asking for your help to track down his stolen comic book collection.
Huh.
Yeah.
When did such a thing happen?
Well, in 2000, Nic Cage's house was burgled, and a number of valuable comic books were stolen in the process.
So you're saying it's been 22 years.
Yep.
And he thinks he's going to get a lead on his comic books. The only chance you would have is whoever stole them kept the entire collection in one place.
I don't know. I mean, if I had, obtained like high-value comic books through nefarious means, I don't know what I would do with them. Would I keep them, lock them in a vault, or would I sell them on the black market somewhere? You okay, buddy?
He made me drop one.
Okay.
The big bully.
All right. So among them were Action Comics #1 and Detective #27.
Woo!
So after years of investigations, the actor was finally reunited with his Action #1 a decade later.
Okay, if they found that, they should be able to find the rest of it.
Unfortunately, the rest have yet to be found. The actor said in a recent interview where fans got to ask him questions via the internet, "I just want my comic books back." Treasures that are in the $10 million range.
Ooh.
He'd add that the money generated from selling them could be donated to charity.
Now, he's not saying he's going to do that. He's saying he could have.
He said he could at this point.
Because if I got my collection back, I'm not guaranteed I'm going to sell them.
So if anyone out there knows anything about Nic Cage's stolen comic book collection, I guess get in touch with him via Twitter.
Or get in touch with us.
Yeah. I mean, any man who would steal another man's comic book collection, especially a national treasure like Nic Cage, you ought to be ashamed.
You should be ashamed.
What? Did you get it? Yeah, you got it?
National treasure.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
Shame on you.
All right. Nic Cage's new movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, opens in theaters this Friday.
Looks good.
All right. Finally, in a recent interview, actress and director Bryce Dallas Howard had some words to say about the upcoming Star Wars Ahsoka series. So as some of you may know, Howard has directed some of the best episodes of The Mandalorian and also directed the #2 rated episode of the Book of Boba Fett, that being The Return of the Mandalorian.
That kind of makes me sad.
#1, by the way, is from The Desert Comes a Stranger. All right, so in the interview, Howard said, "So Dave Filoni, who knows Star Wars better than anyone other than George Lucas, and he was taught by George because they worked on the Clone Wars together. We worked, and Howard and Filoni worked together on The Mandalorian." She went on to say, "Without giving anything away, you are going to love the Ahsoka show that's coming up. I cannot tell you anything, but what I can say is that you being a fan of the Clone Wars will be greatly rewarded." So, while it has not been confirmed that Howard is working on the series, given that she's a fan-favorite director and her close relationship with Ahsoka creator Dave Filoni, it's a pretty safe bet. So no official release date for Ahsoka has been announced yet, but with Star Wars Celebration just around the corner, that would be May 4th, you will probably be getting some more concrete info soon. Rosario Dawson is set to return as the title character, with Mary Elizabeth Winstead in an undisclosed role, Natasha Liu Bordizzo as Star Wars Rebel character Sabine Wren, and Hayden Christensen is being rumored to return as Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader.
That's kind of cool.
So if Christensen does return, and assuming that we don't see these two together in the upcoming Obi-Wan series, this will be the first time those two characters have been together in live action. So, pretty exciting stuff from Disney Plus and Star Wars. All right, so that is gonna do it for our entertainment news. We're gonna check back in here with Thor just a little later, and now let's head back inside and do some comic book reviews. right, so before we jump into our comic reviews, just a quick thing here. So at the time of this recording, I saw that the new trailer, the first trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder has just dropped. So, I watched it, and it looks pretty awesome. I wasn't sure whether to show the old man, because as most of you may know, the old man doesn't like to watch trailers for superhero movies because spoilers.
Right, mostly because they've ruined a couple of movies in the past by showing me something that sure would have been exciting to have seen for the first time in the actual movie.
I mean, I still haven't forgiven them for Spider-Man in Civil War. I mean, you might have heard things, but you should not have actually seen Spider-Man until you were actually in the theater. Like, in Spider-Man No Way Home, they tried to keep under wraps the fact that Tobey and Andrew were going to be in the movie, and they didn't show them in the trailer. I mean, it was probably the worst kept secret, but
yeah, everybody figured it was coming.
But at least they made an effort. They didn't show them in the trailers, which is what they should have done with Tom Holland in Civil War. But they didn't do that.
Can you imagine if in Civil War we didn't know Spider-Man was coming, after years of Spider-Man being excluded from all the MCU movies, if all of a sudden he showed up and we didn't already know it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you
I'd
could
have jumped up out of the seat.
Yeah. Not sure how you could have kept a secret like that, but, it would have been pretty cool. So, I watched the trailer, and I wasn't sure whether to tell the old man, and I asked him, so, what do you know about Thor: Love and Thunder? And he says, Jane Foster becomes Thor. And I'm like, is that all you know? You don't know anything about the rest of the cast?
I mean, I suspect the Guardians will show up somewhere, but don't know it.
But, he says that's all he knew, so I said, okay, I am not going to show you.
That one has been hard. Well, actually, the Doctor Strange has been hard.
Yeah, I mean, he's not seen anything from Doctor Strange yet, right? Anytime we go to the movie and the trailer starts playing, he puts his hands over his ears and he starts humming to himself. There's that one part where it gives something away that, again, would have been better left in, you see it in the actual movie, that I really want him not to know. And, I suspect if they put out another trailer between now and the next 2 weeks, that they'll give more crap away. And they actually say that the Doctor Strange will have more surprises than Endgame and Spider-Man No Way Home combined, is what they said. So, yeah.
Well, just so...
Trying to keep it all under wraps.
So any of you jackasses that think it would be fun to spoil something and you want to leave it in the comments, go ahead. I don't read the comments. He reads them to me, and he edits the ones I don't need to know about.
Yep.
Ha!
So, Thor: Love and Thunder, one more thing we have to avoid in the future. All right, so that is, Thor: Love and Thunder. Looking forward to another what should be another big hit for this summer. All right, now on to our comic reviews. Now, we grade these. If you've never seen this before, we grade these on a 5-shield rating system. We give them 2 scores. Each of us give it 2 scores. One for writing and story, and the other one for artwork. And then we combine the 4 scores together to give it an average overall score. Now, first up, our mentions for this week. And I've told you guys before, we don't call them honorable mentions because sometimes we have something negative to say about them.
Sometimes they suck.
Yeah.
But we want to mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Like this first one.
I mean, if it's just kind of meh bad, then I probably won't mention it. If it's like, painfully bad, like it offended me, like I'm mad for having to read it, I want to talk about it. I want to vent.
Well, this one's a little different. It's more a case of we're not fans of the subject matter. I read, it's the Sandman Universe Nightmare Country #1. I read some of the original Sandman. Interesting story, was okay. Not jumping up and down about it. I don't think you've read any of them. And I picked it up because there is on HBO Max a new Sandman live action show coming, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to pick up something maybe to get a feel for it. Well, I got a feel for it, and I'll still watch the show or give it a try, but I'm not jumping up and down about it. So here you go with The Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, #1.
All right, so like we said, I'm not really familiar with the subject matter, so that's probably why I didn't enjoy it too much. So, for the most part, we follow this one woman who's a bit of an artist who's been having nightmares, and then also we meet up with this guy who I assume is a demon, and he has teeth for eyes, and
his eyes are like mouths.
Yeah. Okay, it says here he is called the Corinthian. So for those of you Sandman fans, I guess that's him.
I'm pretty sure he was in the original story arcs.
Like the whole teeth for eyes thing seemed vaguely familiar. And then also we have we follow this story, and this is about the only part of the issue that I found to be mildly interesting, where you have these two guys who are have kind of messed up faces or masks, and they seem like they are Hell's enforcers, is what they appear to be to me. So, and I don't know, I guess maybe the artwork is supposed to fit the tone of the comic book. I didn't really care for it. So, again, take this particular review with a grain of salt, because, again, I'm not familiar with the subject matter. And
I mean, I understand that some of you Neil Gaiman freaks are just loving this. But it's not for everybody, obviously.
You said Neil Gaiman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thought you said Neil Diamond for a second. All right, so
Neil Diamond would have nightmares.
The Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, #1. We gave it 2 shields out of 5. All right, next up.
All right. Now this one is the beginning of I think it's a miniseries. It's a new story arc. It's Flashpoint Beyond #0.
All right. So, if you're familiar with the original Flashpoint story, so Barry went back in time to save his mother, and he ended up changing a bunch of stuff.
He screwed up all kinds of stuff.
The whole universe is messed up because one particular thing that happened was that Thomas Wayne survived that night in the alley, and Bruce Wayne was killed. Thomas becomes a much more violent Batman than his son did, and then Martha Wayne, driven insane by the death of her son, becomes the Joker. And that's how that origin starts. Plus, a bunch of other stuff happens, like Atlantis and the Amazons go to war with each other.
Atlantis wins.
Yeah. And what else happens? Also, Superman lands in the wrong spot, and he actually crashes into a city, and he kills like thousands of people when his ship hits the Earth. So he's kept in a government storage locker for most of his life. So all that stuff is bad. So anyways, Barry goes back and fixes everything, or at least so he thinks. But Thomas wakes up and, things are similar to the world that he knows, but he shouldn't exist at all because Barry supposedly fixed everything. So things are different in his world than they should be. So, he needs to, fix it again, I guess. So he kidnaps Barry Allen, a unpowered Barry Allen, and he tries to recreate the circumstances that gave him his speed, and, tells him that, he needs to get his speed back so he can fix everything.
What could go wrong?
Well, things do not go according to plan. So, interesting story here. Little slow, but, hopefully things will pick up soon. Artwork is okay. I think we both gave it a 3. Is, serviceable. All right, so Flashpoint Beyond #0. We'll be following this series. Our mention for this week with 3 shields out of 5. And speaking of Flashpoint, you probably heard headlines about Flash star Ezra Miller being arrested in, I think he was in Hawaii at the time, and now DC is talking about canceling future projects that he's in. So I hope that doesn't mean they're going to cancel the Flash movie that's supposed to come out next year, because it's like, I think that's already in the can, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So, they've already shown trailers for it, so hopefully that's not canceled. And also, hopefully, Ezra and Warner Brothers, make nice about it and they can continue on. Because people always make these decisions when, the incident, whatever it is, just happened and, things are really heated. and they make decisions on a whim.
What did the guy do?
I believe what happened was he got into a bar fight.
A bar fight?
Yeah.
Anybody die?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we don't know who started the bar fight. We don't know how bad it was. I mean, if you go back to the golden years of Hollywood, John Wayne and Alan Alda got into a bar fight one time between each other. It wasn't part of the movie they were filming. They just didn't like each other. They slugged it out. Alan Alda kicked the Duke's ass.
Really? Okay.
Alan Alda was an amateur boxer, so he had an edge. At any rate, did they even talk about not casting you, the canceling, or any of that crap? No, it was a fight.
I mean, social media being what it is these days, everybody has an opinion, and it's like the whole world can condemn you in a matter of seconds on Twitter. So,
Well, this whole canceling culture just makes me want to puke. I mean, if somebody does something bad enough that they need to never work again in the industry, fine, put them in jail. But for just a bunch of Facebook nuts to start canceling somebody, bullshit. Bullshit.
I mean, Ezra Miller, he's getting a lot of heat, and of course, there's the whole Will Smith incident. But once temper is cool in a lot of these incidents, the studios and the person involved, usually end up making nice with each other because, Scarlett Johansson got into a heated argument with Marvel Studios for a while, and now they've apparently decided to make up, and now she's back on schedule for future Disney projects. And also, you remember, Megan Fox got into it with Michael Bay a few years ago, which caused her to get fired from the third Transformers movie. But then, apparently they made up because Michael Bay cast her in the Ninja Turtles movies that he made. So, tempers can flare and, then cool, and, hopefully, people can make up again.
It needs to be business.
Yeah.
It needs to be, what do the fans want? What can we give them to make them happy, to make them spend their money? What can we do to entertain them? Now, if you got some jackass who's a pedophile, okay. I'm done with it.
I mean, Roman Polanski should be canceled.
I mean, I can make the decision whether I'm willing to support somebody or not. If you put somebody I'm not willing to support in a movie, I won't go see the movie. They won't get my money, and pretty soon that guy will be out of work. I don't need to get on the internet and just start blasting somebody and canceling.
Now,
it's silly.
There's also the matter of, if they cannot make up and, it's just not going to happen, should a role be retired or should it just be recast?
Recast.
Because a lot of fans are calling on Grant Gustin to be the new Flash of the DCEU.
I mean, that is so obvious.
Right,
if you need a new Flash, you got a guy who has played the Flash longer than all the other actors that have played the Flash combined. By 10, times 10, I mean, and he's done a good job. Some of the later seasons of the Flash haven't been great, but it's not because he can't play the Flash correctly.
Right.
It's great as the Flash. I don't know why we hired Ezra Miller anyway. I mean, he's okay, but the TV show Flash is better.
Right.
Fight me.
And also, there's recasting when a actor passes away. Chadwick Boseman. It looks like T'Challa in the MCU is going to be retired. I guess they're going to explain his death somehow off camera.
Well, see, I'm torn on that one.
Yeah, because they recast Spartacus when the actor from the first season passed away, and that worked out pretty well. I don't remember any backlash on that.
I think they could recast the Black Panther and find somebody that would do a great job. But then you get into one of the few situations where should they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't answer. That one's tough.
I mean, would you have recast Princess Leia in the last movie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people thought Meryl Streep should have played her in the final movie.
That'd be killer.
Yeah, I had this whole scene in my head, and I don't know if they would have done it if Carrie Fisher hadn't passed away or something similar to it. I had this whole scene in my head where Leia finally confronts Kylo Ren or Ben, and they get into an argument and heated words, and then finally Leia's like, Ben, you're coming home with me whether you want to or not. And then lightsaber comes out. And,
or she's going to spank you.
And, Leia just like totally owns him in a duel. That would have been, what I would have liked to have happened, but obviously did not. So, what do you guys think? Should, if a actor gets canceled, should they, make an effort, given whatever circumstances, should they try to make nice with the studio, or if they don't make nice, should they, retire the character, or should they recast it? And also, if, someone passes away, what do you guys think? Should, they just retire the character, or should they recast it? Let us know. All right, so that's our little side rant.
That's our rant for this week.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we've had 2 rants this week. So now on to our top 3 for this week.
Yeah, we are going to review some comic books.
Yeah.
All right, so you've probably not heard me say this, but a very few times. There were no ties this week. Amazing. There weren't really high scores, but there weren't any ties. Well, not in the first 3 places, at any rate. So coming in at number 3, it's a one-shot from Marvel. It's Elektra number 100.
All right, so this is sort of a kind of a one-shot story here rather than an ongoing one. And it might even be a flashback, I'm not really sure. But anyways, Elektra confronts Typhoid Mary, many of you know as Kingpin's wife. And Elektra is sporting a different outfit than her traditional red, despite what the cover says. And Typhoid, she is kind of reminiscent of Harley Quinn, really. So the two of them duke it out, and Elektra gets the better of her, and she kidnaps her and locks her up. She needs to get some information out of her, and it's sort of a like a character piece where the two characters at odds with each other are sort of fighting and also conversing at the same time because they're in an enclosed space and they're forced to talk to each other. So it's kind of like one of those. So a interesting character study, and also some good artwork here as well. So Elektra number 100, our number 3 pick for this week, with
after we rounded it up, 3.5 shields.
3.5 shields out of 5. All right, next up.
All right, this is, I think, a 5-part miniseries. It's What If Miles Morales Did Something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we already reviewed the first one. The second one is What If Miles Morales Became Wolverine, number 2 in the series.
All right, so this story at first takes place in 1981, where Miles apparently has the mutant gene, and he is about to go through puberty, and he is trying to make sense of what's happening to him. At the same time, he's going through some family drama, and also there have been a string of kidnappings in his neighborhood. And so Miles leaves the house one day to go to school, and he gets kidnapped himself. Well, fast forward about 40 years, and Miles has become Wolverine, and he was kidnapped in order to be experimented on, and he more or less grew up as Wolverine. But he hasn't aged, because I guess that's part of his mutant powers and also what they did to him.
Logan barely ages.
Yeah. So, he has become Wolverine, and now he's living in a kind of a Days of Future Past type world with Sentinels running loose, rounding up mutants. And, he gets attacked, and, one thing is, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So you might run into some characters who are somewhat familiar to you. So, interesting story. What ifs are always pretty decent. And what if Miles Morales became Wolverine, number 2 in this series, ends up with...
That one got 3.5 shields, no rounding.
3.5 shields out of 5. And next up, our number 1 pick.
Now, this is a book from Image, and It's on issue number 9, and we've reviewed this book. It's been in our top 3 several times. It's just good science fiction storytelling. So, number 1 on the hit parade this week is Nocterra.
Oh,
Good catch. Is Nocterra number 9 from Image.
all right. So for most of this series, it's a post-apocalyptic world where the enemy, the bad guy, has been a killer by the name of Blacktop Bill, and he's sort of a killer, mercenary,
Good
soldier type guy.
Excellent villain.
Well, Blacktop or Bill has learned that a greater threat is coming, and that it's no good for him either. I mean, he's sort of embraced this new world so far, but what's coming, he don't want any of that. So he's decided to make a uneasy alliance with our heroes, including Val, the main girl that we've been following the whole series. And in these types of stories where the bad guy is captured or joins up, he's usually sort of shady on information. But in this version, Blacktop, for as near as I can tell, anytime they've asked him for information about something, he's been pretty forthcoming. So he tells them that the people that made him, the people that he's worked for all this time, because he betrayed them, they're going to be coming after him, and them by association. So they're going to send other people like him called Nocturnes, and one guy that he mentions, he had a little confrontation with a while back, and he's pretty determined to kill Bill, and when he explains why, I don't really blame the guy. So it ends with a pretty exciting chase scene with the Nocturnes coming after them, and our heroes and Blacktop Bill trying to fend them off. So Nocterra number 9, our number 1 pick for this week, with 4 shields out of 5. All right, so there's our picks for this week. Get them at your local comic book shop if you haven't already. Now, what has come out today that we're interested in?
All right. It was another kind of short week for us, but some good quality stuff. You have Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 2. Batman the Night, number 4. Nice House on the Lake, number 8. That's a good science fiction story, or horror story. Aerosmith, Behind Enemy Lines, number 4. We'll see if it keeps your interest. There's going to be 2 new Captain America books coming out soon. A series for each of the 2 Captain Americas. Well, this week Captain America number 0 comes out, and I'm not sure, but it might be launching both those titles. Doctor Strange has a new series, House of Nightmares number 1.
All right.
And then finally a book that seems like it comes out kind of
sporadically.
It's a good book. It's Knighted number 5.
Okay, this should be the conclusion to that one, right?
I think it's the last issue, yes.
All right, so there's what we're looking forward to. Again, get them at your local comic book shop. All right, let's turn it over and give you guys a little preview of what you can expect for this spring's pop-up comic book shop. All right, so for the last few weeks, we have been giving you guys a preview of what you can expect for this spring's pop-up comic book shop.
Teasers, if you will.
Yeah, teasers. And here's a few pictures of what we've shown you guys already coming to our sale. And also, we're going to have all kinds of stuff. We have comic books. We have comic books starting at $1 and going up from there. And we have thousands of comic books to choose from. So hopefully, or you're pretty safe bet you'll find something you like. And also, we're going to have so many toys we can't even display them all in 1 week. So every week it's going to be something different.
Well, the killer to this is the collection that we're in the process of buying. We get new toys from this guy every week. Mm-hmm. And my understanding is we're only 2/3 of the way through his collection, and it's a ton of toys.
Right.
So, yeah, every week for a long time, we're going to have new toys at the booth.
Mm-hmm. All right, so, we told you guys that at the absolute latest, we're going to do it on the first Saturday in May. And
May the 7th. And,
we've been watching the forecast, and the forecast for this coming Saturday, April 22nd,
23rd.
23rd, and it looks good. So tell you what, we're pulling the trigger. We're doing it. This Saturday, April 23rd, we're going to open 10 a.m. We're going to be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Make sure you notice that, because normally we open at 8, but
if you're
it's going to be a little nippy at 8, so we're going to give it a couple more hours to warm up.
So if you're a yard sale hunter and you're used to heading out at 8 a.m., sleep in a little bit if we're going to be your only stop that Saturday.
Now, just because we're opening this Saturday does not mean we're going to be open April the 30th. Weather will determine that. Now, come May the
30th?
7th,
Okay.
come May the 7th, we will be open every week, no matter what the weather does.
Mm-hmm. All right, so check us out this coming Saturday, and if we'll have signs in the neighborhood. It's 7002 Brookbend Way, Louisville, Kentucky 40229. So follow the address, and if you get a little lost, can't find the place, look for this sign right outside the house. Grogu will show you the way. All right? Hopefully you're coming from the right direction, because, it's not double-sided. All right. So now to give you guys a new preview of what you can expect at our sale. Like I said, thousands of comic books to choose from. And I have 3 I'm going to tease for you right here. So first up, we have a Bronze Age comic, Jonah Hex #1. And, this was his first self-titled series. He had been appearing in other titles up until now, but this is his first solo series. All right, next up, pretty cool, we have Spider-Woman #1, first spectacular issue. This is the origin of Spider-Woman, a.k.a. Jessica Drew. Then, I've told you guys before, we have all kinds of Romita-era Amazing Spider-Man. And Romita started at issue number 39, I believe, and he went on for several years drawing for Spider-Man. So we have this one, Amazing Spider-Man #113, and this is the first appearance of Hammerhead.
Good old Hammerhead.
Yeah. So first appearance of I would say, semi-major Spider-Man villain there. So pretty cool stuff, and we have. Amazing Spider-Man, we have all kinds of key issues for you guys to choose from. And, we also have, you mentioned we're going to have Young Avengers. If you guys are interested in that, we have a Young Avengers slab, and here's a picture of that, and plus several other slabs we're going to have available at the sale. So, check us out if you're interested in slabs, and, I think we have like probably about 15 or so slabs. Everything else is going to be
15 to 20.
Yeah, everything else is going to be loose like this. All right, so there's that. Now for our toy previews, we have, like I said, we're not going to have enough toys to display all in one week, and we have pretty much every price range. We have loose figures, if you just want to take them home to your kids so they can play with them. We're going to have those. We're going to have higher higher value collectible stuff, and also we have something like kind of in the middle. I told you guys we have lots of Marvel Legends figures, and those are really cool, well detailed figures. A lot of them, or I should say a few of them, are going to be loose in the blister because the previous owner, on a few of them, he cut the blister open so he could pull out the comic book. So those have a reduced price on them to reflect that, obviously. So if you want, you can buy those and take them home to your kid if you're not a collector type. All right, so here's a few collectibles that we have available at the sale. All right, so this is one that I almost wanted to keep for myself because it's so freaking cool. This is the Marvel Legends Masterworks Hulk versus Thor figurine. This is a great display for your case, for your shelf, for your desk, whatever you want to put it. And it's straight out of the comic book cover. It has the Marvel Feature Presents number 11, which is a recreation of the cover there. All right, so we have that. If you're a big Lobo fan, we have something for you here. We have something from DC Direct, Lobo with Cycle figurine right there.
And dog.
And dog. And I don't remember Lobo having a dog, but I guess he did at some point.
I guess so. I remember him seeing the pictures of dog, but I don't remember the stories.
So Lobo with cycle and dog, and pretty cool collectible there. Then finally we have this. So I've learned that Toy Biz has apparently put out several different versions of the Hulk Rage Cage over the years. And this one is based on the Eric Bana Hulk movie, Hulk Rage Cage right here. And it's a pretty cool setup here. And it's, you put Hulk in the, containment cell, and you press the right buttons, and Hulk breaks out of the cage. And, he says, Hulk smash, and nothing can stop the Hulk with electronic sounds. So, pretty cool stuff here. All right, so all of these are going to be available at our sale, and it's
just this weekend, though.
Yeah.
It may not be back next week.
We're going to change stuff up the following weekend, or the next time we open. All right, so remember, this coming Saturday, April 23rd, right? Need a calendar.
Working on it.
Okay.
April 23rd.
April 23rd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 7002 Brookbend Way, Louisville, Kentucky, 40229. And if you stick around at the towards the end of the video, I'll put up a little slideshow of all of the items that we're going to have for the sale already.
Well, you're going to put the ones we've already advertised.
Ones we already advertised, and plus our comic books, or a lot of our comic books that will be available at the sale.
I mean, obviously with the comic books, there'll be a whole lot more, but I suspect that when we put our toys on display, there'll be a lot more other than what we have advertised.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've advertised, and I'm thinking about, table space, there's probably going to be a lot of room left over. So we're going to put other stuff up on display at our first sale. So, come by and check that out. All right, so enough jibber jabber about this stuff. Let's head back out into the garage with Thor. All right, back out here in the garage with Thor. So I have a doggy challenge video this week that's a little more exciting than most of them. All right, so let's see how this one goes. This is our doggy challenge video of the week. All right, was that fun? Did you have fun? Did you want to do a little dance with me? No? All right, hope you're not mad at me.
I don't think he's mad at you, but I think he believes that you're cray-cray.
Yeah, possibly. All right, good boy. All right, so that's going to do it for another episode. So stay tuned for more comic book updates, and we're going to be giving you more previews probably throughout the summer, because we'll always have a little something new to show you for our garage, or a pop-up comic book shop, I should say.
Hope so.
Yeah. All right, so stay tuned for that. And our reaction videos, we are currently doing Moon Knight, and we'll have an all-new episode later today posted to the channel. And next month, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out. So, pretty exciting there. I'm a little apprehensive, that's the word, about Obi-Wan, because, we're doing so well in the Mandalorian Boba Fett timeline.
I mean, it's cool that they can just bring Mando in if things get a little flat and everything's going to pep up. You can't bring Mando into the Obi-Wan storyline.
No, he's just a little kid at this point. So like I said, if Obi-Wan starts sinking with viewers and fans, then don't know what they're gonna do to pep that. I guess throw in Darth Vader. I mean, Rogue One I thought was pretty good throughout, but they throw in that Darth Vader scene, and everybody's like, 2 thumbs way up. So I guess throw him in.
Darth Vader's a bad mamma jamma.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna be doing our reaction videos to Obi-Wan next month, and just stay tuned for more updates and videos for the channel. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Excelsior.
True believers, if you stay long enough to listen to this, thumbs up. But comment, I heard you, just so I can see if anybody's listening.